My friends, let me tell you something I truly believe in my heart. There's a greater force out there, something powerful and guiding, leading you to the next chapter of your life. I know there are moments when the road ahead seems unclear and you're standing at a crossroads, wondering where you're supposed to go. But let me remind you of something today. Even when you can't see it, God knows what's next for you. Trusting the unknown is one of the most profound acts of faith we can experience in our lives. It asks us to let go of the need for control and to open ourselves to the infinite possibilities that lie ahead. The unknown can feel like a vast ocean filled with both mystery and uncertainty. It's natural to feel anxious when we can't predict what's coming. But there's a quiet power in surrendering to what we cannot see. It's about having the courage to move forward, even when the path is not fully visible. We live in a world that often teaches us to seek certainty, to plan every detail, and to expect life to unfold in an orderly fashion. But the truth is, life is anything but predictable. The unknown is where magic happens, where the unexpected comes to life. In fact, it's often in those moments when we step outside of our comfort zone, when we take a leap without knowing the outcome, that we find our true selves. Trusting the unknown means stepping into that space with an open heart, ready to embrace whatever comes your way. There is a kind of beauty in embracing uncertainty. It challenges us to grow in ways we may never have imagined. Think about all the times you've stepped into something new, whether it was a job, a relationship, or a new chapter of your life. At the start, it probably felt daunting, maybe even overwhelming. But as you kept moving forward, you found strength and wisdom in places you never thought to look. The unknown forces us to evolve. It doesn't allow us to stay stagnant. Trusting the unknown requires an inner trust, not just in the world around us, but in ourselves. It's about knowing that even though we can't see the next step, we have the resilience to face whatever comes. We may not have all the answers, but we have the ability to figure things out along the way. And that's where real empowerment lies. In the understanding that we are capable of handling whatever life throws at us. The unknown is not a threat, it's an invitation for growth and transformation. As you journey through life, you'll come to realize that the unknown doesn't always have to feel like a scary place. It can also be a sanctuary of opportunity. Every day holds the possibility of something new, an encounter, an insight, a chance to create something extraordinary. When you let go of the need to control and embrace the uncertainty, you allow space for life's magic to unfold. The unknown becomes a blank canvas, waiting for you to paint your masterpiece. It's also important to remember that trusting the unknown doesn't mean you're not making plans or setting goals. It's not about being passive or leaving everything to chance. It's about understanding that even with our best intentions, life may take us in unexpected directions. And rather than fighting it, we learn to navigate with grace and confidence. The most powerful experiences often come when we allow ourselves to be led by forces greater than our own understanding. When we trust the unknown, we also make peace with the idea that not everything has to be figured out right now. In a world that's always rushing, it's easy to feel like we need to have all the answers immediately. But the truth is, some answers only reveal themselves with time. We must trust that we're on the right path, even if the next step isn't crystal clear. It's this trust that allows us to let go of fear and embrace the journey, no matter how winding it may be. In those moments of doubt, when the unknown feels overwhelmingly vast, remember that you are never alone in it. There are countless others who have walked the same uncertain road and come out stronger, wiser, and more fulfilled. The unknown may be unsettling, but it's also where we discover the depth of our own resilience and the boundless potential of our future. When we trust the unknown, we open ourselves up to the most extraordinary possibilities, and that's where life's greatest gifts often await. Embracing the journey is about accepting that life is a series of steps, some easy, some challenging, and others downright difficult. We often hear people say, it's not about the destination, but the journey. But to truly embrace the journey means to recognize that every part of it matters. Every moment along the way, whether joyful or painful, contributes to the person you are becoming. It's not about rushing toward a specific endpoint. It's about being present in each experience, allowing each part of the process to shape you. The journey is rarely a straight line. It often twists and turns in ways we never expect. We set out with certain plans and ideas of where we think we should go, only to find that life has other plans for us. And while it can be frustrating to feel like you're veering off track, it's important to remember that those detours are a part of the journey, not a setback. They often lead to the richest experiences, new lessons, and unexpected blessings that we could never have predicted from the start. The journey teaches us the importance of flexibility, of accepting that things will not always go as planned. It's easy to get caught up in the idea of a perfect destination, thinking that happiness or fulfillment lies only in reaching a certain place. But what happens when we get there? We realize that life continues, and so too does the journey. No matter how much we achieve, there's always something new to explore, something new to discover. Embracing the journey means letting go of the need for perfection and understanding that every step, no matter how small or large, is significant. Every step forward is part of the unfolding of a greater purpose. Part of embracing the journey is also embracing the unknown. There's an inherent uncertainty in moving forward without knowing exactly what lies ahead. We often want guarantees, we want safety, we want certainty, but the beauty of the journey is that it requires us to trust. Trust in ourselves, trust in the path we're on, and trust that even when we can't see the way forward, we're being guided towards something meaningful. In those uncertain moments, we learn to rely on faith and intuition, trusting that we are exactly where we need to be. In every journey, there will be obstacles. These are the moments that test us, challenge us, and sometimes make us want to turn back. But it's through overcoming these obstacles that we grow. We become more resilient, more resourceful, and more connected to our inner strength. Embracing the journey means seeing those challenges not as roadblocks, but as opportunities for growth. It's in navigating these difficult times that we discover the depth of our own courage and our ability to persevere, even when the road feels long and uncertain. Along the way, we will also encounter people who will walk with us, whether for a short time or a long time. These relationships are integral parts of our journey. Each person we meet brings something valuable into our lives, teaching us, supporting us, and sometimes even challenging us to be better. Embracing the journey means appreciating the connections we make along the way, understanding that no relationship is by accident. Each encounter holds a lesson, a gift, or a moment of shared growth. As we move through the journey, it's important to remember that there is no right way to do it. Each person's journey is unique, and comparing ourselves to others can only cause unnecessary stress. Instead, embrace your own path with all its twists and turns. Honor your individual pace and your own timing. The journey is yours to experience, and it doesn't need to match anyone else's. It's about finding peace with where you are and trusting that the path you're on is the one meant for you. To truly embrace the journey is to approach each day with an open heart and an open mind. It's about finding joy in the little things, the moments that might seem insignificant, but in hindsight turn out to be the most meaningful. Whether it's a quiet moment of reflection, a conversation with a loved one, or a small victory on the way to a bigger goal, these moments are all part of the journey. When we learn to savor the journey rather than always focusing on what's ahead, we find that life itself becomes richer, more fulfilling, and more beautiful. Having faith in yourself is one of the most empowering acts you can commit to in your life. It's the belief that no matter what happens, you are enough and you have what it takes to navigate life's ups and downs. Faith in yourself means trusting in your abilities even when the world around you doubts or questions your path. It's an inner knowing that you are resilient, capable, and worthy of every opportunity that comes your way. But sometimes this faith can be difficult to cultivate, especially when faced with setbacks or moments of self-doubt. Self-doubt is something that we all face at some point in our lives. It creeps in when things aren't going the way we expected or when we feel like we've made mistakes that are too big to recover from. But it's important to recognize that self-doubt doesn't define you. It's a feeling, not a fact. Having faith in yourself means acknowledging those doubts, but not allowing them to control your narrative. You don't have to have all the answers, and it's okay to feel uncertain, but never let that uncertainty overshadow the knowledge that you are capable of learning and growing. Faith in yourself is also about trusting your intuition. Often we look to others for validation or approval, but true self-belief comes from tuning into your inner voice, the one that guides you when all else seems unclear. Your intuition is a compass that knows the way even when the road is foggy. It takes courage to listen to that voice, especially when the world around you is telling you to follow a different path. But trusting your own inner wisdom is one of the most powerful ways to build faith in yourself and your journey. As you move through life, you will face moments of fear, fear of failure, fear of rejection, or fear of the unknown. These fears can be paralyzing, and they often try to convince you that you aren't capable of achieving your dreams. But having faith in yourself means embracing fear, not running from it. Fear doesn't have to be a barrier. It can be a sign that you're stepping into new territory, pushing boundaries, and expanding your potential. When you move forward in spite of fear, you affirm your strength and your belief in your own power. Building faith in yourself also involves practicing self-compassion. Too often, we are our own harshest critics, focusing on every little flaw or mistake. But part of believing in yourself is recognizing that you are human and it's okay to make mistakes. Every mistake is an opportunity to learn, grow, and become more resilient. When you show yourself kindness and understanding, especially in the face of failure, you build a solid foundation of self-love that will carry you through difficult times. Faith in yourself grows when you treat yourself with the same compassion you would offer a loved one. Faith in yourself doesn't mean that you won't face challenges. Life will always throw obstacles in your path, and sometimes the journey feels more difficult than expected. But true self-belief is about resilience. It's about knowing that you can handle the challenges that come your way. It's the understanding that every difficulty is temporary and that you have the inner strength to persevere. The more you face challenges with courage, the more you reinforce your faith in yourself and your ability to overcome anything that life puts in your way. Another important aspect of having faith in yourself is learning to celebrate your achievements no matter how small they may seem. In a world that often encourages comparison, it's easy to overlook the progress you've made, but every step forward, every accomplishment deserves recognition. When you celebrate your victories, you reinforce your self-belief. Each achievement, no matter how minor it feels, is proof that you are capable of reaching your goals. And these moments of celebration help build the momentum needed to keep pushing forward. Finally, faith in yourself is about embracing the journey, knowing that you are constantly evolving. You may not be the person you were yesterday, and you won't be the person you are today forever. But that's okay. Self-belief doesn't mean that you are static or that you must have everything figured out right now. It means trusting that wherever you are in the process, you are exactly where you need to be. You are constantly growing, learning, and becoming the person you are meant to be, and that is something worth believing in. Patience and timing are two of the most essential qualities in navigating the unpredictable journey of life. In a world that thrives on instant gratification and quick fixes, it can be difficult to remember that not everything can or should happen in the blink of an eye. Learning to trust the process, to allow things to unfold in their own time, is a practice that requires deep inner strength and wisdom. Sometimes the greatest things in life come when we stop rushing and start embracing the natural flow of life. When we talk about patience, it's important to understand that it's not just about waiting for something to happen. It's about how we choose to act in those moments of waiting. Do we become frustrated and resentful, or do we find peace in the stillness? Patience is about remaining calm and composed when life doesn't unfold as quickly as we expect. It's about trusting that what's meant for us will come at the perfect moment, even if that moment doesn't match our timeline. It's a quiet surrender, a knowing that we don't always have control over the pace of life. Timing, on the other hand, is the understanding that everything has its place in the grand scheme of things. Often we feel as though we must be somewhere else, doing something else at a different time, but life has its own rhythm, and timing is about recognizing that rhythm, even when it feels like things are moving too slowly. There's a certain grace in recognizing that not every opportunity or moment is meant to happen immediately. Sometimes waiting for the right moment is what makes the difference between success and failure, fulfillment and disappointment. Patience and timing work together in a beautiful dance. There are moments when we must take action, when the timing is right for us to step forward and make bold decisions. But there are also moments when we must step back and allow things to unfold naturally. It's in those quiet pauses that we often find clarity, peace, and wisdom. If we rush ahead without understanding the timing of things, we may miss important lessons or make decisions that don't serve us in the long run. One of the hardest aspects of practicing patience and timing is learning to be okay with uncertainty. So much of life's most beautiful experiences are hidden in the unknown. We want answers, we want clarity, we want guarantees. But the truth is that life's greatest gifts often arrive when we least expect them. Patience is the ability to sit in that uncertainty, to trust that something better is coming, even when we don't yet see it. It's the quiet faith that we are exactly where we need to be, even when the road ahead seems unclear. As we move through life, we're often faced with decisions that require us to exercise both patience and timing. Whether it's waiting for a career opportunity, nurturing a relationship, or healing from a personal loss, there is no perfect timeline for anything. Each person's journey unfolds in its own time, and comparing our path to someone else's can only lead to frustration. Timing is deeply personal, and the key is to trust that your timing is yours and yours alone. No one else's pace can dictate your own growth and progress. In moments of impatience, remember that life is not a race. The pressure to catch up or get ahead often comes from external expectations rather than our own true desires. When we allow ourselves to embrace the timing of our own lives, we stop measuring our success based on arbitrary standards. We begin to trust that everything is happening in the way it is meant to. Even the setbacks, the delays, and the detours are part of the process, guiding us to exactly where we need to be. It's also important to acknowledge that patience and timing do not mean passivity. We can still move forward, take action, and pursue our dreams, but we do so with an understanding that not everything is in our control. Some things require waiting for the right conditions, the right moment, or the right opportunity. And during that waiting period, we can continue to grow, to learn, and to prepare ourselves for the time when everything aligns. It's in this delicate balance of action and patience that life's most beautiful moments often arise. Growth through struggles is one of the most transformative aspects of the human experience. In our culture, we often associate success and progress with ease, with things falling into place effortlessly. But the truth is, the greatest growth often happens in the most challenging moments. Struggles are not just obstacles to overcome, they are opportunities for deep transformation. Embrace the pain through triumph. When we are faced with adversity, we are given the chance to stretch beyond our limits, learn new lessons, and develop a resilience that would be impossible to cultivate without those struggles. The pain and hardship that come with struggles can feel overwhelming in the moment. It's easy to feel like the weight of the world is on our shoulders, and in those moments, it's hard to imagine how anything good could come from such difficulty. But when we look back on our lives, it's often the toughest times that have shaped us the most. Struggles force us to dig deep into our inner strength, to find resources we didn't know we had, and in doing so, we come out the other side more resilient, more capable, and more connected to our true selves. When we face struggles, we are forced to confront our weaknesses, our fears, and our limitations. These are not easy things to face, but they are essential for growth. In times of difficulty, we often learn the most about what holds us back. Whether it's a limiting belief, a fear of failure, or an unresolved wound from the past, struggles give us the opportunity to confront and work through these barriers, and in doing so, we release ourselves from the chains that have kept us stuck. Growth happens when we are willing to face these uncomfortable truths and use them as fuel to propel ourselves forward. There is a certain beauty in the process of struggle. While it can be painful, it is also the soil in which our most important seeds of growth are planted. Just as a seed must break through the hard earth to grow into a strong tree, we too must break through the difficulties in our lives to reach our fullest potential. The process is not always graceful or easy, but it is necessary. We grow by expanding beyond the limits we once thought we had. We grow by learning how to cope, how to persevere, and how to heal. Through struggles, we also learn the importance of patience. Growth is not instantaneous, it takes time. Just as we cannot rush the process of a flower blooming or a tree growing, we cannot rush our own growth. The challenges we face teach us the art of patience. Patience with ourselves, with the process, and with life itself. It's in the waiting, the uncertainty, and the hardship that we learn to trust that everything is unfolding in its own time. Struggles force us to take things one step at a time, to focus on the present moment, and to trust that each small step is contributing to the bigger picture. Another key lesson that comes from struggling is the ability to embrace vulnerability. When we face difficulty, we often have to ask for help, share our burdens, and be honest about our struggles. This vulnerability, while uncomfortable, is essential for growth. It allows us to connect with others on a deeper level and to receive the support we need. Through vulnerability, we learn that we don't have to face everything alone. We are not meant to be perfect, and we are not meant to carry all of our struggles in silence. The willingness to open up and share our journey is a powerful step toward healing and growth. Struggles also teach us the importance of perspective. In the middle of hardship, it can be hard to see beyond the pain. But with time, we often find that the struggles we faced were necessary for our evolution. We come to understand that life's difficulties are not punishments, but lessons in disguise. The challenges that feel unbearable at the time often turn out to be the most important milestones on our journey. With each struggle, we are given the chance to transform, to look at the world through a new lens, and to recognize the strength that we gained from overcoming adversity. Finally, growth through struggles helps us to develop empathy and compassion for others. When we experience hardship, we begin to understand on a deeper level what others may be going through. The struggles we face make us more compassionate, more understanding, and more willing to support those who are also experiencing difficulties. It is through our own struggles that we can truly offer comfort and encouragement to others, because we know firsthand what it's like to feel lost, broken, or unsure. This shared understanding fosters connection and deepens our sense of humanity. Hope and possibility are two of the most powerful forces that guide us through the challenges of life. They act as beacons of light even in the darkest of times, showing us that no matter how tough things get, there is always something greater on the horizon. Hope is not about ignoring the reality of our struggles, but about believing that things can and will improve, that we are capable of overcoming what lies ahead. It's the belief that every moment, no matter how difficult, holds the potential for change, growth, and transformation. Possibility, on the other hand, is about recognizing the infinite opportunities that life offers us. It's about understanding that our potential is not fixed and that we are capable of creating new paths even when the old ones seem closed. Possibility asks us to see beyond what is immediately in front of us and envision what could be. It's a mindset that invites creativity, innovation, and boldness, pushing us to reach for something bigger than we thought was possible. When we embrace possibility, we begin to see the world through a lens of endless potential. Hope and possibility are intricately linked. Hope fuels our belief in the possibility of change, and possibility gives our hope direction and purpose. When we have hope, we are able to imagine new outcomes, new opportunities, and new futures. Without hope, possibility becomes meaningless, as we are left without the belief that anything could be different. Conversely, without possibility, hope can feel stagnant, as it has nothing to root itself in. Together, they create a powerful force that propels us forward, even when the road seems uncertain. In times of difficulty, it can be easy to lose sight of hope. We may feel overwhelmed by our circumstances, trapped in a cycle of negativity, or discouraged by setbacks. But it is precisely in these moments that hope becomes essential. Hope is what keeps us moving forward, even when the way ahead is unclear. It reminds us that our current situation does not define us, and that we have the strength and resilience to move through it. Hope is a choice, a decision to trust that the future holds something better, even when the present feels bleak. Possibility is also about perspective. It's about recognizing that no situation, no matter how challenging, is permanent. Life is constantly changing, and what seems like an insurmountable obstacle today may become a distant memory tomorrow. Possibility invites us to shift our perspective, to look for the silver lining in every situation, and to see opportunities where others might see barriers. When we open ourselves to the idea that there are always new paths to take, we allow ourselves to be empowered by the idea that we are not stuck, but rather in a constant state of becoming. Hope and possibility also remind us that we are not defined by our past. Our previous failures, mistakes, and challenges do not have to dictate our future. With hope, we believe that we can create a new story, one that reflects who we are becoming, not who we once were. Possibility invites us to rewrite our narrative, to embrace the lessons of the past while leaving behind the limitations it may have imposed on us, We are not prisoners of our history, but creators of our future, and each new day brings a chance to explore what could be. Hope and possibility are also essential in our relationships. They allow us to see others through a lens of potential rather than judgment or limitation. When we hope for the best in others, we inspire them to be their best selves. When we believe in the possibility of change, we create the space for transformation to happen, not just in ourselves, but in those around us. Hope encourages us to be patient, kind, and compassionate, while possibility gives us the belief that people can grow, evolve, and overcome their own challenges. Together, they create a sense of community and connection as we support one another in the belief that anything is possible. Finally, hope and possibility are about resilience. They are the foundation of our ability to bounce back from adversity, to keep going even when it feels like we've reached our limit. Hope gives us the strength to endure, while possibility gives us the courage to take risks and venture into the unknown. When we embrace hope and possibility, we acknowledge that life will have its hardships, but we also know that within every struggle lies the opportunity for growth, change, and a better tomorrow.